What's up? This is Dorby from Dorbyworks. I want to show you today our GY6 case brace kit. This is the complete ankle biter belt guard with the GY6 150cc case brace kit. Show you how to put it together. We designed this case brace bracket about 6 years ago. From riding the Ruckus and the 150cc, they usually crack when you go single-sided swing arm and do all the custom stuff that we do to the Ruckus and remove the dual shock system to go with like a really wide wheel. Usually cracks back here by the transmission or right here with the starter. As you can see, there's pretty much nothing hollowed out here. So we made this bracket. This is like our version 2 that makes it easier to install. Our version 1 had a crossbar, it was not too functional. The most important parts are that our case brace contacts the main engine mount right here and the shock location back here and wraps over to reinforce the brace. We've not had an engine crack, thankfully, and you know, it's a product we make with good quality materials here in the US and try to offer it to riders at a very reasonable price to make sure everybody rides safe. So today I'm going to show you how to do the install here. With this case brace kit, you will get 10 bolts in total to replace all your OEM bolts. You'll get your spacer with your M8 that goes back here. And rule of thumb, when you're installing any part, you don't want to tighten down any one spot before everything is lined up and threaded. So I use red Loctite, get everything ready. So let's get started on the install here. First, you'll want to line it up. Like I said, you don't want to tighten down any bolts. What I usually do is I put the main engine bolt, it's a 10mm, through the ear hole right here, main engine mounts, which the case brace protects. Then I grab the rear shock bushing. Put your spacer between the case brace and the rear tab. There's a bushing here. Some engines might not have that bushing. Email me if you don't. I can send you a bushing and you can install it. It's necessary. So I start off right here. First installing 6mm bolt right here. You're getting 6 M6x20s with a lock washer and a washer. Lock washer keeps the bolts from backing out and the washer keeps your finish protected. All the hardware is stainless steel. That way you don't have no rust. Okay, it's going to be nice and clean. Next to this bolt that I'm installing now, there's 2 holes to service the starter. If your starter goes bad or you needed to replace it or change it, if you have Allen bolts, you can use a extended Allen socket and go through here and remove these 2 bolts, pop your starter forward and replace it without taking off any brackets, any transmission components. Before pulling all these bolts in, I didn't mention, but you want to use red Loctite. The engine has the most vibration, so you want to keep all your bolts in there and not backing out. So Loctite, lock washers, all are necessary. I recommend that you guys check your hardware periodically before you ride for safety. Check your tire pressure, all the good stuff so you can make it home. Awkward angle. So these first 6 are in there. They're only hand tight. Then I'm going to put the belt guard hardware on. I'm not going to put the belt guard on because first you want to put your pulleys on. Just want to demonstrate to show you. Just want to put them on, that way all the bolts are lined up. You can tighten these 6 initially, and then when you remove these, they'll come right out. Otherwise, if you tighten these down without having these bolts in place or these other bolts, you're going to probably think that the bracket's not machined properly. It's just machined really precise so that the bolts can fit properly. Hence why you want to have them all threaded in. Also, when you're installing all this, you're going to put your pulley back here and your variator. It may appear that when you initially put your pulley on, your clutch pulley and your clutch bell and your belt on, since the clutch pulley assembly is going to be closed, it's going to look like your belt is going to be really tight to the case brace, but once it's in operation, it's not going to contact the case brace and it's going to operate just fine. Just want to let you guys know that if you have any questions. So I got all the transmission components to show you. Little helper here. Let's take out all these first. You can tighten all these down. Now we can remove these. First, you want to grab your pulley, put your clutch on, clutch bell, put your belt here, variator, drive bushing. So, to install the clutch and the belt, usually grab this, pull it back, or you can use the belt and wedge it. Pop right on. Put your dry face. Make sure the splines are lined up. You don't want to screw up the splines. Put your 17 millimeter. Now you can install your belt guard. The aluminum bushings go behind the belt guard. Since we lined it all up, so these guys should thread right in. Just use an impact just to get the bolts secure. I usually torque them down with a 3/8 drive. Make sure they're snug. And here you go. It's a good looking engine right here. Case brace protection, high performance transmission, belt guards so you don't get caught in there. Make sure you don't stick your hands in here when it's operating. It's common sense. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.